Alright, hi guys, I'm Doggone, and welcome back to the Utopia Baseball League. Again, I'm recording on June 25th, 2018. A bit of an insomnia report. It's 1 a.m. my time. I wanted to finally get on focus with talking about the lives of the former Parrot Heads. It took me just about all day, but I finally compiled, to the best that I can, a list of all the trades that Key West, Chattanooga have made. And it's up on the pegboard in front of me. If I count it, let's see, there's one trade in 2014, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 2015, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 in 2016, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 2017, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in 2018. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 trades that I've made starting from 2014 when I dealt my catcher Luis Ramirez for second baseman Eric Dickey with Chesapeake. It actually took me, I actually did not realize when I traded for Dickey, I didn't realize that his contract was so high. I could afford him at the time, but it foobarred my, it gave me an early introduction to foobarred contracts and foobarred salary structures. You see, Chesapeake signed him to 6 years and $60 million, and the guy, I won't say he wasn't worth it, because he's an Iron Man, and he did really well. He did really well for us. Luis Ramirez busted, as I mentioned in an earlier video. He completely busted for Chesapeake. He's back down to AAA, and maybe he gets it back together, but maybe not. His arm and ability, everything's just falling off for this guy. And I hate to see it because he was a good catcher for me. Let me go back and show you his Chattanooga. Here we go. 2 years at Chattanooga. He hit 302, 333, and then 271, 339. Part-time hitting. In 2014, he did the bulk of the load. He was. I was so happy. He was my farm boy. He was my catcher of the future. And it was a high price that I was paying to Chesapeake to send him up there, but he busted pretty much as soon as he got to Chesapeake. All of his ratings started falling, especially his contact rating, and his eye rating fell at the same time. And meanwhile, Eric Dickey was the boss for us. He still got good ratings, maybe not this good, but good ratings. Good guy, Iron Man, right-handed batter. Doesn't hit righties as well as he hits lefties, but still not bad. If I was in a bind at second base, I would not hesitate to bring this guy in. He's not going to be the best defensive guy, about a 45 rating at second base, but he's a good guy. Very high intelligence, very high work ethic. Not much of a leader, but he wants to win really badly, and I think he can lift a team. Anyway, that was my first trade ever, 2014. And then I made, this page is in Spanish. That's really funny. He actually is the player with the highest contact rating left out in free agency, and you can believe it. He is every bit, I wouldn't say he's 60, but he's 50 or 55. So, he's a good guy. That was the first trade we made. The second trade was Mark Hicks for Ramon Medina. And I talked about this already. Mark Hicks is still on our big league roster. He has good control. Not as good stuff as a starter as he does as a reliever, but he's good to have in the pen. And he kind of has a sort of he's sort of up and down in his performances. You probably see it here. He gave up 5 runs on 4 hits and 2 walks in 1 inning against Charleston, and he came back. Next time he faced Charleston, he pitched 3.2 innings, 1 hit ball, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and got the win. So he's kind of an up and down guy, much like Kevin Adams was. High control guys tend to low stuff, medium movement, high control guys tend to have great days and bad days. You know, they're not real consistent. At least that's how it seems to me. And we traded him in 2015 for Ramon. We traded Ramon Medina for him. Medina had a career-ending injury and is no longer with the Lancaster organization. He was my 212 pick in 2013. That was 2013. I don't think was such a great draft, but 2014 was an amazing draft. Injured, torn labrum, CEI. He had just been in the single A All-Star game, so you know he was having some. His ceilings had dropped, but he was coming up to his ratings, his new ratings. Let's see. So that was on the same day I did that trade. I also did the trade that I had just went over. Herman Riley plus Luis Roman plus Fernando Moran in exchange for Dudley Thomas. Yeah, if I could do this over again, would I take it back? I don't know. You know, I needed the pitchers back then. So anyway, good patience by OU, and Bootleg, I think he's going to come back up. You notice that Bootleg just got demoted back to AAA. He'll be back up. He didn't do so well He did not do so well up in the bigs. He started 4 games. He went 2-1. He did win half his games, but he had an 8.41 ERA, 1.82 WHIP, ERA plus of 47. I think OU wanted to send him back down in a hurry, so that terrible performance doesn't, or lackluster performance doesn't impact his development. Smart move, in my opinion. Who knows how these guys develop or don't develop, but smart move. So those were our first 3 trades. The fourth trade that I made is probably the one time that I really fleeced in this league, and it might not have happened that way, but it did. I got Manuel Cruz from. You see, he's smiling. He's never smiling. Up on the mound, he's just snarling. Got him from. Chesapeake for a couple of guys. I'm going to get to these. I think the real reason I got him from the Barons is because earlier in the season, Fignuts had this abortive trade with Dick. They thought they had a deal for Pat Morrison. Chesapeake thought they had a deal for Pat Morrison, but it was a misunderstanding between the 2 GMs. And so Morrison was in limbo for a week and then went back to the BC roster. And Cruz went back to the Chesapeake roster. So I think that was probably a source of embarrassment. And he was looking to trade him for an up-and-coming middle infielder. John Cummins looked to be that guy, but he's back to AAA now. He's hitting 213, 300. He started off great. He was called up early to the bigs. He started off great, and then boom, he completely fell apart. 2016, you see, he was in 48 games. He finished with a 232, 287 record. 2017, 241, 276. So Chesapeake, under the AI control, has sent him back down to Glendale for some more work. He's still, 26. Maybe he can still improve these ratings a little bit. You see, he's a brilliant defender, rated 70 at second and third and 65 at short. So very flexible defender. I want to say he had a home run office when Yeah, when we played him the first time after the trade. Misao Tashima was a throw-in. He was on like a $1.2 million contract. Yeah, let's see. No, he was on an $800,000 contract. And he had busted. You see his contact had dropped and his eye had dropped. He busted all at once at a very young age. After signing a 3-year extension with us, and this was just a throw-in to help us with salary. Fig kept him on the roster for about half a year and then released him. And he may still be out there in free agency for all I know. Misao Tashima. He actually is in the Chattanooga record books because he was a hell of an outfielder for like 2 years. And he had a ton of at-bats. Look at this. 374, 96 games, a 291, 354, 401 split, 115 OPS plus. 2013, 323, 391, 124 OPS plus. The guy was getting it done. He wasn't a power hitter, but he was hitting enough gaps. 109 hits both of his first 2 years. And then boom, the bottom completely fell out in 2014. This is when I kind of took over. He still, he got, he was in just as many games, but only 176 at-bats. He was platooning a lot and pinch hitting a lot, and his hitting just went to crap. I don't know if I just abused his left-right hitting or something, misused it, or if he just fell off that. I think in large part he just fell off. So that wasn't the full deal. It also included Chesapeake's. Chesapeake got my 2016 7th round pick, and I went back and looked at that, and it was some guy who didn't last. So that was the fourth trade I made. It's probably the only one I came out smelling like a rose on. Manuel Cruz. Cruise control. He has become our closer, and he's just kicking butt and taking names right now, man. I tried to rest him in the bottom of the bullpen where he couldn't hear the phone, and he wasn't having none of that shit. He, whenever the phone rang, he'd run right out on the field. He's like, that's mine, bitch. Get out of my way. Cruz. So he's outperformed Gonzo. To my surprise, I thought Gonzo was the big cheese, the big honcho. But anyway, of course, I'm very happy to have both of these guys. Very, very happy to have both of them. Still think I maybe jumped the shark on drafting Gonzo, the 1-2 pick, but oh well. My next trade, it was on the same day as the Cruz trade. I traded with Nashville with the Pro, Frank Schmidt for Vic Schaefer and Dennis Fry. And we'll have to go to my minor league system to find this guy, Frank Schmidt. Right here he is. Frank Schmidt, I like this guy. His contact rating has fallen off, though. I think when I was looking at him, his contact rating was about a 50. It has fallen off, but he's otherwise a good batter. He's hitting well in Little Rock, 295, 367, 409. Got a little gap power. Got some patience at the plate. Doesn't strike out much. I like this guy, Frank Schmidt. He was, when I traded with Nashville, he was my projected second baseman. His defense, pretty good at second. He's evolved into an excellent first baseman, defensive first baseman, and despite being a righty. Still got an option year left. I still like this guy a lot, and he may make an appearance again on a roster. He's one of the several second basemen I've got that are just really, really good. What did I trade to get him? The Pro didn't think too much of Schmidt, but he chiseled me for all he was worth. Vic Schaefer I was grooming him to be my third baseman. You can see that Nashville has kept him at first base. That's where they wanted him. He also can do some outfield work. And right now he's in Double A. Excuse me. He's hitting 280, 371 in Double A. No power to speak of, but he can make contact. And it's kind of the Pac-Man curve that I like to see. He doesn't hit righties as well as I would like to see, but Vic Schaefer, at the time I was getting impatient with Xavier Padilla at third base. Padilla was making a lot of errors, and so I was really starting to think about Schaefer as my future at third. But he and Schmidt were very, very comparable, and so anyway, yeah. Schaefer did get a few starts in Nashville. He hit 270, 338, 460. He did extremely well, 122 OPS plus, and then Nashville decided they had somebody better, and they sent him to the bench. So I'd like to see him get more at bats. I think he's a good player. The other guy in the trade, Dennis Fry, the pro kept asking me for a pick, and I wouldn't give him a pick, and he settled on Dennis Fry, who was a very late, he was a 7th round pick in 2012, and he had the stats, what Fry had, playing in Single A and Double A, and good, excellent defensive infielder, and he was making better contact than expected. Career minor league stats: 246, 338, 326, 4. Yeah, I think the year we traded him, he was hitting. Moved him up to Double A. He was hitting 291, 403. That's what got the pros eye. 291, 403 in 2015, and continued to do well. We gave him a promotion to Little Rock. Nashville sent him to kept him down in their farm. He did fine in Double A, didn't do so well in Triple A. Never has made it out of Triple A in Nashville's system. It's a shame to see. He might be worthy of some pro time in garbage time, just to see what he does. So that was one more trade for 2015, and that's one of my big guys. One of my big guys who's about to get back healthy again. I got to figure out who to send down. And that would be this guy, Rodney Duncan. Duncan, the D-Can, the D-Rod, the D-Can. His ratings have taken a big hit. He was durable up until last year. At the end of the year, he had a terrible injury. Was it last year? No, 2016. In the last week of the season, September the 9th, torn labrum, 7 to 8 months. He had a setback in his recovery, missed another 4 months. His contact, which had been rising, has fallen again. Everything has kind of fallen, but he's still a really good guy. I like him a ton. He's about to get back. So this was my final trade of 2015. I traded for Rodney Duncan, and the trade was for Fernando Nunez with BC. I was actually trying to shop some of my pitching to BC to complement their hitting, and Dick looked through my farm system. He made me a very fair offer. My first round pick, which was about the 110, 112 pick, plus Fernando Nunez. And Nunez, I already knew at the time, Nunez did not have the hitting profile that I need to excel in big old Margarita Field. He has a hitting park profile, just like BC's park. So he was part of the trade. Dick didn't really think he would amount to much. He was really after the first round pick, which he eventually turned into a pitcher. Nunez, as you see, was a third round pick in 2014, that great draft of 2014. He was doing very well in my farm system. Where was he? I say he was, but apparently not. 234, 329, Oh, he was hitting for power. That's right. He hit 14 home runs in 2015 in Fremont, and he did not hit that many in Durham. But when did we do the trade? November 30th of 2015, we traded, and so he in 2016 he started with the BC system in Tucson, and the following year, 2017, he just lit up Double-A. He got promoted to Triple-A. He did really well, and this year he's still in Triple-A, hitting extremely well. He did have some looks in 2017 and this year in BC. He hit extremely well in 40 at-bats, hitting a 350 average with an 825 slugging, 48 bats, 4 home runs, 5 doubles, and a triple. That's an outstanding debut. He has not replicated that this year, so he might have just been a one-time wonder, but he's still cooking down in AAA. So I thought it was a good trade for me. I got a definite first-round quality pick in Rodney Duncan, who had already had time to age and mature. He was still cheap. He still had all of his options, and a left-hander for my outfield. He plugged a long-standing right field gap that I had. Well, that's all the time I got for tonight, guys. I just wanted to get back on track to talk to you about the trades that I've done, lives of the former Parrot Heads. We talked about Medina, who is retired. We talked about Dudley Thomas. Talked about John Cummins, Masao Tashima, Vic Schaefer, Dennis Fry, and Fernando Nunez. So tune in next time. I'll be talking about some more former Parrot Heads, once and future Parrot Heads, Xavier Padilla. Let's see, and a bunch of draft picks. Oh my goodness. In 2016, I started dealing my picks. Wowzer. You're going to cringe when you hear all the stuff I dealt in 2017. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time.